Good afternoon. It's a good day. It's a good day. I want to welcome you all to the South Coast Community Foundation's annual Jacobs Family Scholarship Awards and reception. I'm Dr. Melanie Edwards Tavares. I'm the President and CEO of the South Coast Community Foundation, and it is truly an honor to be here with you today. So we are the region's sole community foundation, and for those of you who don't know, we have a service area that spans 41 communities, 4 counties, and over 1.1 million residents. On behalf of our board of directors, I want to welcome you, and it's a pleasure to gather here today in celebration of 5 very special young scholars. So I want to start off by offering a particularly heartfelt welcome to our guest of honor, Dr. Irwin Jacobs. His grandson, Connor Jacobs, and their guest, Denise Jennings. That's right. Thank you for being here. Dr. Jacobs, we are honored to have you with us today as we celebrate these 5 remarkable students from our beloved city. We're also proud to be honoring our students today along with our education leaders and our civic champions. So we have with us the Honorable Mayor of New Bedford, John Mitchell, Superintendent of New Bedford Public Schools, Andrew O'Leary, Headmaster of New Bedford High School, Joyce Cardoza, Executive Director of the Global Learning Charter Public Schools, Stephen Furtado Jr., and Principal of the Greater New Bedford Regional Vocational Technical High School, Worley Williams. On behalf of the foundation, we want to thank you for the critical work you do every day to nurture and guide our future leaders. We appreciate you. Also, a special thank you to Amanda McMullen, President and CEO of the New Bedford Whaling Museum, and to the Board of Trustees for welcoming us into this beautiful space. So before I move on, I'd like to take a minute to acknowledge our Board of Directors, present and past board members. If you could just raise your hand to let us know that you're here. Thank you. And we have a very special thank you for those of you who are part of our volunteer committee that does all of the reading for the scholarships. If you are here, could you stand? Thank you. We have to tell you, if it wasn't for the volunteer time that these folks put in, we would not be sitting here today. So at the South Coast Community Foundation, we envision a vibrant and thriving southeastern Massachusetts where every individual has the opportunity and resources to reach their full potential. That is our vision. We work toward that vision by uniting people, organizations, and resources to strengthen our communities. That is our mission statement. And few other efforts reflect that mission more clearly than our scholarship program. It is a living example of what happens when donors, educators, volunteers, and students come together around a shared belief that we build a stronger region when we invest in our young people. We are deeply honored to have been entrusted by the Jacobs family to carry forward the legacy of the Jacobs Family Scholarship Fund, which for more than 2 decades has empowered students from New Bedford to pursue their dreams of higher education. To find these incredible scholars, we partner with donors, schools, volunteers, and families, because each scholarship is an investment in the future of our students and the vitality of our region. We manage all of our funds with care, holding ourselves to the highest standards. And through rigorous and transparent processes, we ensure that the outcome is felt in communities, reflected in lives changed, and sustained over time. What makes the Jacobs Scholarship Fund so extraordinary is that it has done more than support higher education. It has unlocked potential, it has opened doors, and fueled the dreams of young people right here in New Bedford. Each year, the Jacobs Scholars remind us what is possible when talent, hard work, and opportunity come together, and this year is no exception. It is my pleasure to introduce the 2025 Jacobs Scholars, Kylia Bawden, Galen Rodricks, Bao Ta, Veronica Horsky, and Ian Lopes. We're going to hear more about this exceptional group of young leaders in just a moment from the people who know them best. But first, I'm going to invite Mayor John Mitchell, someone who has long championed education, innovation, and opportunity here in New Bedford, to please join me and say a few words.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is one of these recurring events that I look forward to every year because it's, in some ways, it's a moment of renewal. It's just you come back to this event and you see both at once excellence embodied in these seniors who've accomplished so much and have really set terrific examples for their peers, and then on the other hand, the enduring example of Erwin and Joan Jacobs, who've really have embodied so much in the way of opportunity for our city. And so I'm pleased for those and many other reasons to be here today. I just wanted to take just a couple of minutes to offer some words of thanks and some words of congratulations. So to the scholarship recipients, I don't think I need to tell you this, but maybe I do. If it hasn't sunk in, it will. It's become a big deal to be known as a Jacobs Scholar. It is New Bedford's version of high-branded academic scholarships like Truman, Fulbright, Marshall, right? This is our version of that. When you're a Jacob, you are labeled a Jacobs Scholar. That's something that sticks with you, not just in your college days, but really for your entire professional career. It's if you have any doubts, look at the resumes of some of those who've gone before you. It's right on their resume, and that's for good reason, because it is a brand that is synonymous with not just academic excellence, but a real commitment to learning, and something that reflects so much of what Erwin has and his life's work has been all about. So congratulations to you. The money certainly helps. College is getting not less expensive these days, but it is it's what you've done, you've achieved, what you've earned is very real. And I want to thank also the Community Foundation. Melanie, where did you go, Mel? You sat right there, right in front of me. There you are. Thank you and your staff and your board for undertaking the selection process and shepherding, all of this with such skill, and it really commands the confidence of everybody, other donors and so forth, which is important. But it's reflective of the distinction as well. You guys pull it off so well. So thank you for that. I want to thank also all the educators in the room, Andrew and Joyce, Wally, Steve, Lynn, for what you do every day for our city's children. You're really throwing the doors of opportunity open to all of them, and that counts for so much. And that's what we really want to be known for. But we also have a moral obligation to be doing our best to pay it forward, and you guys are doing that. I really appreciate that as well. And I just want to say to my friend Erwin, more than anything else, thank you again for your commitment, and not just financial, but your example. It's 24 years in running is a long time, and as I look up, I said, geez, it really has been that long. But it's really, to my mind, the example that you and Joan together have set over the years, which is one not only of doing as you say, right? You made a commitment and you've stuck with it, and you cross the country to come here every year to be part of this exercise and to renew that connection to not just New Bedford, but to the youth of New Bedford. But it's also sort of the values embodied in it. I will tell you, and he will probably make mention of it in his remarks, and I don't want to steal your thunder, but you know, Irwin's working on a startup right now, and it is like his other startups. In the beginning, it's a heavy lift, but knowing him, it's going to be a big success. And I mentioned that, and again, you can offer up as much detail as you like, and people would like to know what it's about. But so I won't steal that thunder. But I won't make the following point, which is that one of the things that Irwin has always preached is that we all need to strive to continue to learn. And and once you stop learning, you really stop living. And that means learning means not just cracking open a book. Oh, that's great. There are people who stop doing that. But it's more than that. It's really an act of diving right into things, diving into the unknown, diving into the things you want to know, and continuing to test yourself. And so you continue to set that example, which I think is also reflective in the award itself, which is, you are the scholarship, the investment, the direct financial investment, but also the bestowing of this honor is really it is broadly in every sense an investment in each of you to continue to pursue knowledge, continue to test yourself, continue to grow, and to just like the person whose name is adorned on this scholarship. And so I just want to say thanks for not just stroking a check, because it's a lot more than that, Irwin. As you know, it's really terrific leadership, and it's something that I think is enormously beneficial to our city. So I want to thank you again. It's great to see you. It was great to catch up today at lunch, and I hope each of the recipients has an opportunity to spend some time with Irwin, because again, and every moment I'm with him, I learn something, and I'm sure you will too. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Mayor Mitchell. I'd now like to call up Superintendent Andrew O'Leary to come and say a few words. Thank you, Andrew. Great superintendent we have. Thank you.
Thanks, Melanie. And wow, the mayor said it. I couldn't believe when I walked in. It really struck me. 24 years of Jacobs Scholars. And it was so great to have a brief meeting with the returning Jacobs Scholars here today. And I did have some formal remarks, but I'm going to put those aside because we had a lot of fun today at the Jacobs School. This was just a fun day. Sometimes these things can be formal and all of that, but it was just so much fun with the students, with the pre-K students. We got some fist bumps. We got a lot of music and drumming. New Bedford Symphony Orchestra and Terry just knocked it out of the park again. And then that was just such a great conversation. And there were some eyes were welling up, I noticed, when we heard the story of the Pacheco students. Jaden, who's at Suffolk Law now, but wrote a letter to Dr. Jacobs talking about his memories of Dr. Jacobs and how Dr. Jacobs was an inspiration to him. And that was just a great moment as well. So I'm certainly going to remember today, and it's going to serve as an inspiration for me. But there's something special about the Jacobs Scholarship. We're in award season now. We're going to have a record number of Honor Society students at New Bedford High coming up, thanks to the hard work of Principal Cardoza and her team and the educators at New Bedford High. And we're going to be giving out scholarships all through the next few weeks. But there's something special about being a Jacobs Scholar. And I just want to acknowledge that and point out to the incoming scholars how fortunate you are, and the current Jacobs Scholars, what a great model you are for our students at New Bedford High. And again, just to the parents and caregivers, thank you for all your hard work. With 3 boys at New Bedford High, I know it's a lot, and this is a day for you as well, so congratulations for everything you've done, your sacrifices and your commitment. Perhaps a round of applause for families and children as well. So just one last point reflecting on Dr. Jacobs' impact. I think if I was to sum it up, Dr. Jacobs' impact on our community and on our scholars, I think, as I often do, I think to history. And we have something of a vacuum right now in our country, I would say, in terms of leadership. And what is true leadership? And true leadership, the Greeks and Romans, I used to teach history up the street at BCC, we talked about ancient Greece and Rome, and they had this word virtue. And true leaders have virtue. And virtue means to know the good and to do the good. To know the good and to do the good. And the manner in which Dr. Jacobs was talking about our students today, the manner in which our students talk about Dr. Jacobs, that's an example of virtue. So it's a real reassurance to me to know that you Jacobs scholars have that model in Dr. Jacobs, and you will go out into the world and you will know the good and do the good. So thank you. Thank you to everybody.
Thank you, Andrew. So now I'd like to introduce Dr. Eric Dominguez, Chair of our Scholarship Committee and a 2002 Jacobs Scholar. He's going to say a few words and present the scholarship awards.
Thank you, Melanie. I'm very honored to be here with you today. It is truly a pleasure to be with this talented group of young people, knowing that they are on the precipice of great things in their lives. Kylea, Jalen, Bao, Veronica, and Ian, you represent the absolute best of New Bedford, and I'm excited to see what you will achieve and to support you along the way. I want to share a little story about my story with you, actually. So I did get the scholarship back in 2002, the second year we had it. So yeah, 23 years ago, so it's been a little bit of time. But before, all that, now I stand here as a doctor, right? I'm a dermatologist. I'm also assistant professor of dermatology at UMass Chan Medical School. I also opened my own business a year ago, Modern Dermatology of Massachusetts in Fall River. So I'm really excited to be back in this community. But back in 2002, 23 years ago, I was a kid from New Bedford who worked weekends at the local grocery store, Emerald's Market on Belleville Ave. You probably know that store very well. My parents were immigrants, and my first language was Portuguese. So I learned to speak Portuguese before I learned how to speak English. Even back when I worked there, I knew that I wanted to do something to make a positive difference in people's lives. Because of the Jacobs Scholarship Program, I was able to do that. I attended UMass Dartmouth, graduated summa cum laude with a degree in chemistry. I was also able to participate in many out-of-class activities, things that I wouldn't have been able to do if I didn't have an amazing scholarship like the Jacobs Scholarship. I was part of the Pre-Med Society, the Portuguese Language Club, and also participated in several research projects. Following my undergrad studies, I went to UMass Medical School in Worcester, and actually also completed my dermatology residency there, and as a result met my wife when I was a resident, who now we live together in Rhode Island. We have two beautiful children, 8 and 6. And then last year, like I said before, I founded my own private dermatology practice in Fall River, something that I'd always wanted to do, and I definitely always credit the Jacobs Scholarship to kind of setting that foundation with the support from my family and my parents. So thank you to Dr. Jacobs, appreciate that. And I think what matters more than college, what you do, is really just realizing that you can give back to your community. I've seen, as you will see, the example of generosity and deep commitment that Dr. Jacobs and Mrs. Jacobs have had to our community, and the Jacobs Scholarship have really been an inspiration to all of us. I've been inspired by them, and it means a great deal to me to volunteer as chairman of the scholarship committee, and also to volunteer for other charitable organizations in the South Coast. Jacobs Scholars are an exclusive group of highly accomplished New Bedford natives. And today we welcome 5 more students who are now a part of this very special group of people. I'd like to recognize the past Jacobs Scholarships that could join us today. Could you please stand and let's give them a round of applause. Now, before we present the 2025 Jacobs Scholarship Awards, I am thrilled to introduce Rosa Nieto Hernandez, a recipient of last year's Jacobs Scholarship. She would like to share her story and what the Jacobs Scholarship has meant to her. Please welcome Rosa Nieto Hernandez.
Good afternoon, everyone. First, I want to thank Dr. Jacobs, and the entire Jacobs Scholarship team for making today possible. Not just this event, but the opportunities you created for many of us through your generosity and support. My name is Rosa Nita Hernandez. I come from a hardworking immigrant family, and like many of you, I faced challenges that made me question whether college would be an option. Growing up, I watched my single mother work tirelessly to provide for her family, and I always dreamed of being able to help her while also building a future for myself. But dreams like that often come with obstacles, especially financial ones. Receiving the Jacobs Scholarship changed everything for me. It lifted a huge weight off my shoulders and allowed me to focus on my education without constantly worrying about how I would afford it. More than that, it gave me the confidence to keep moving forward. It reminded me that I'm not alone. There are people who believe in me and my dreams. I'm currently studying psychology at Bridgewater State University, and my goal is to become a therapist. I want to help others navigate life's challenges and be the kind of support I know so many people need. To this year's scholars, my advice is simple but important. Don't be afraid to ask for help, especially during your first year of college. It's challenging learning how to adapt to a new environment, and it's okay to feel overwhelmed. You don't have to do it all alone. Reach out to your professors, classmates, and support programs. There's strength in knowing when to ask for help. Once again, thank you so much, Dr. Jacobs, for believing in students like me. This scholarship is more than financial support. It's a gift of hope and opportunity, and I will always carry that with me. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosa, and we wish you continued success. Now, on to the moment you've all been waiting for. We will now present the 2025 Jacobs Family New Bedford High School Scholars. Dr. Jacobs, may I ask you to please join me in the presentations? So when I got this 23 years ago, it used to be a little reception in the headmaster's office at New Bedford High. The other student who received it with me actually went to med school with me at the same time, actually. Interesting. So we might see each other later. Our first recipients are from New Bedford High School, and I'd like to ask Principal Joyce Cardoza to join us on the stage and to present each student their awards.
Good afternoon. So lovely to hear all the stories. Thank you for having me. So the first recipient is Kylea Bowden. She is a senior at New Bedford High School and a dedicated student and activist. She founded our school's Black Student Union, serves in the local NAACP chapter, and sits on the Mayor's Youth Council. Her advocacy extends to reproductive and maternal health equity. Inspired by her work at Pelvic Health Clinic with the Coalition for Social Justice and Education. Academically, she excels as president of the debate team. Her debate coach describes her as someone who possesses the discipline and high intellectual capacity to compete against the most talented students. Kylea will continue her journey at Syracuse University in the fall to study public health on a pre-med track, aiming to advance healthcare equality. Kylea Bowden. Congratulations. Congratulations. Okay. All right, everybody else gets the routine, right? All right, so our next recipient is Jalen Rodericks. She is a graduating senior from New Bedford High School and a passionate advocate. She is president of the Drama Club, Vice Chairwoman of the Student Advisory Committee, and a representative of the SURSAC, which is the Southeast Region of Massachusetts Student Advisory Council. Known by her teachers as a thorough, mature, and innovative, Jalen has excelled in her rigorous high school courses. She will attend Harvard University in the fall to study political science, driven by a passion for government and civic responsibility. Through her coursework and leadership roles, she has developed a deep interest in understanding the conditions of her community and hopes to use her education to create meaningful change. Congratulations, Jane. The third student from New Bedford High School is Bao Ta. He is a first-generation college student graduating from New Bedford High School and intends on pursuing a career in the medical field. He has been actively involved in the Math Club, Key Club, Peer Mediation, and Black Student Union, and he currently serves as a peer mentor for the Biotech Massachusetts Life and Science Program. Bao is known for maintaining a high GPA and a strong academic performance. He has been described by one of his AP teachers as a thoughtful and considerate, yet eager to step outside of his comfort zone. Bao will attend Bridgewater State University to double major in biology and a pre-medical track in addition to math, with a goal of making a meaningful impact in healthcare. Unfortunately, Bao was unable to join us this afternoon and sends his regrets, but is very grateful for this opportunity. We accept this award on his behalf and present it to him, and will present it to him at another time. Congratulations to the students at New Bedford High School.
Thank you, Joyce, Kylea, Jalen, and Bao. I'd like to ask Stephen Furtado, Junior Executive Director of the Global Learning Charter Public School, to join us. Stephen.
Good afternoon. I'm very excited to introduce Veronica Horsky. She's a senior at the Global Learning Charter Public School and a highly involved student leader. She's served as the president of the graduating class and president of the school-wide student council. As a collaborative and intellectual student, Veronica tutors her peers in math, geometry, and biology. She's recognized by her teachers as a creative leader with a strong work ethic. Veronica intends to further her education by studying civil engineering at UMass Amherst with a focus in geotechnical work. With a passion for both STEM and humanities, she also plans to attend law school later in life, aiming to become an attorney specializing in contracts and construction law. Veronica?
Congratulations, Veronica, on your scholarship. Thank you, Stephen and Veronica, and thank you both for attending. Last, but certainly not least, I would like to ask Worley Williams, principal of the Greater New Bedford Regional Vocational Technical High School, to join us.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you, Dr. Irwin. Thank you. Much appreciated. Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to introduce Ian Lopes, young scholar, a graduating senior from Greater New Bedford Regional Vocational Technical High School. Ian is a thoughtful, hardworking young man whose quiet determination and academic excellence have earned him a place in the National Honor Society. He also participates in the STEAM Academy on Cuttyhunk, always eager to learn and grow. This fall, Ian will continue his journey at Roger Williams University. Dr. Jacobs, because of your generous scholarship, he gets to go to the college his first choice. All right, we just made that change. So, Roger Williams was his first choice, and that is amazing that you do that for our students. There, he looks forward to expanding his skills in AutoCAD and pursuing his passion for designing projects that are both visually striking and structurally efficient. Ian's future is a bright one, and it's as bright as his commitment to building it, as we know you're going to be an amazing civil engineer in the future. Ian Lopes.
Thank you, Worley and Ian. Before I turn over the mic to Dr. Jacobs, Kylea, Jalen, Bao, Veronica, and Ian, I'd like to share a few words of advice from one Jacobs scholar to another. Pursue work that matters to you. Don't back away from things that are hard. Not everything that you want comes easy, right? You know, there's gonna be some ups and downs, you'll see this, you know, and then keep working hard. Never forget where you came from, right? Came from New Bedford. 23 years later, here I am, right? You can do the same, all right? And when you come back to New Bedford, whether for a day or years or your whole life, give back. Make the city a little better for the next generation, just as Dr. and Mrs. Jacobs have. With that, I'd like to now invite Dr. Jacobs to say a few words. Dr. Jacobs.
It's always fun to come back to New Bedford, and particularly for these scholarship awards. Unfortunately, this year, Joan is not with me. She died a year ago, and we miss her greatly, but left a number of grandchildren, and one of whom is with me tonight, and a great family. I'd like to congratulate all of the students, both this year and the ones that were here from before. Always special, and we'll get a chance to talk a little bit later, but always special to meet you and hear about both how you got to this point and what you expect going forward. I graduated and at age 16 from New Bedford High School and went up to Cornell, where I, in fact, sophomore year met Joan, so it had a major impact in that way. But I had, during my career at Cornell, my education at Cornell, and then on to MIT for graduate work, the benefit of both scholarships and fellowships. And without those, would not have been able to be in a position to be able to help others. And so the ability to help students go to school and then meet their capabilities and be able to use them in the future has been always very important to us. And so, again, being able to offer those scholarships is important. Life is completely unexpected. I mean, when I left New Bedford, I knew I was going for a bachelor's degree, but didn't know I would go on for a doctorate. Then I didn't know I would go on to be a faculty member at MIT. And then after 7 years, decided to go out to a brand new school in San Diego, University of California, San Diego, to teach. And so that was all very special. But I didn't ever expect to go into business. And so, by the way, it's important to get a very good education, because all these changes in the world that cause you to make changes are, something you can't quite predict. But if you have a good education, that goes a long way in enabling you to do whatever kinds of things that you might want to do. And so education, again, very, very critical. I did get into business somewhat accidentally. I had a lot of requests for consulting when I went out to California because of a textbook I had co-authored at MIT, and mentioned that to two friends from UCLA on the faculty there. And they said, oh, we should start a company and share the consulting. And I said, fine, as long as I don't have to manage that. And so we started a company called Linkabit, linking bits together, communications. And it began to grow. And so then I took a year's leave to get it better organized. And after that year, I had to decide whether to go back to teaching, which was obviously very attractive, or to stay in business. And again, made a decision based on the rationalization that I'd been teaching for 7 years at MIT, and then a few more years at that point at UCSD, 6 more years, and that I've been telling students all that time that this theory that we were teaching would be very useful in the real world. And so with that rationalization, I decided, well, I will stay in business and be able to demonstrate that the theory indeed has been very useful. And so both my first company called Linkabit did very, very well, and sold that and managed to retire for 3 months. And some of the other people that had worked with me at Linkabit said, well, it's been fun, let's do it again. And so I discussed it with Joan and said, well, it won't be Linkabit grew 50, 60% every year. I said, it won't be quite Linkabit, maybe we'll get to 100 people with Qualcomm. And I still get reminded how inaccurate my estimate was. We're about 50,000 at this point. But again, life is unexpected. Leave yourself open to these different possibilities, and you can never tell what might happen with those. And so with Qualcomm, we have had a lot of success with the cell phone business, a lot of opportunities to visit many countries to convince them that they should use our technology, and then the satisfaction of seeing it be used in so many different ways. And I'll finish up with one unexpected result. We actually had to start out by building the cell phones and the infrastructure for CDMA because nobody else believed it would ever become commercial. And so at some point then, as we're becoming more successful, we sold off the handset business and the infrastructure business and focused on technology that is inventing further ways for the technology to be used, wireless to be used, and then making the chips that would enable other companies to manufacture the phones and the infrastructure. And that turned out to be actually a very good strategy. But the most unexpected thing was that a few years ago, NASA launched a rocket to Mars, and it had on it not only a lander, but a small helicopter. I think they called it an Endeavour, but my memory's not perfect. And Endeavour had a chip in it that provided the navigation, it provided the communication, it provided all the smarts that you need in a helicopter to fly in a very much less dense atmosphere than, of course, we have here on Earth. And it worked. It not only worked, they expected a couple of weeks, and it went many, many months. And so to have ever thought that we might make a chip that would fly on Mars, you just can't imagine these things. And so there's a lot of those possibilities ahead of you. Be open to taking them. You have to take a few risks now and then, but do it carefully, but be willing to take those risks and put in the time and effort to make those pay off not only for yourself, but also for the community in general. And then, as the mayor has mentioned, remember that you did start here in New Bedford and that it pays to come back and help out again when you do so. So again, congratulations to all, both the new awardees and the ones from previous years, and I look forward to staying in contact with you for many, many years going forward. So congratulations.
Incredible things come out of our city. So before we close, I have one final surprise for our scholars. Each of you received an award letter from the Community Foundation notifying you of your $35,000 scholarship. Well, thanks to the generosity of Dr. Jacobs and his family, we're thrilled to let you know that that scholarship is actually going to be $40,000. Thank you, Dr. Jacobs. Congratulations once again on this incredible achievement. We're so proud of you. We believe in you. You represent the best of this city, and we can't wait to see what you're going to do to change the world. So, with that concludes our presentation, and we're going to go and enjoy some refreshments with you. And yes, please go out and do big things. We're counting on you. Yes.